Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Late Night Chronicles with Pam with Transformation. How is everyone doing this evening? I'm glad to see you all joining in. I hope you had a wonderful and blessed day today. I hope you're settling in for your evening as we're jumping right on in here with Transformations, Late Night Chronicles with Pam. And as always, put your comments down there, put your likes, throw up your thumbs. Let me know if you are enjoying our conversations and what we're having. So thank you all for joining in. I have my mug tonight. I have my naughty but nice mug. It's nice on this side tonight. I think I did the naughty side before, but this is the nice side, and the other side it has naughty on it. So if you have someone out there that's not single, some of you are in relationships, some of you are dating, some of you are trying to step out and get back. Tell you not to date, people tell you not to court, and all these other things. I think our biggest problem is, and I feel for myself, and it's just for me, is that we're not taught how to date and how to date properly. I think that is one of the biggest mistakes that we have, that we're not taught how to date the right way. You know, what to do when you go on a date, where to go, where not to go. I think it's trust. That is one of the biggest things I hear a lot when it comes to dating and relationships. And a lot of people talk about, well, I don't trust him. He cheated on me before, and so it's hard to trust him now. Well, why are you in a relationship? Because trust is like the number one biggest factor on top of having God in their life. But if you can't trust that person, why are you in that relationship? And sometimes we have to check that. So, and respect and trust on both sides, not just on his side, ladies, but also on your side also, is to trust and have respect also for that person. Respect of their privacy. I hear a lot nowadays, this thing with the cell phones and females going through the cell phones of the guy that you're dating with. That's a no-no, guys. We don't do that. Going through the cell phones, that's a matter of not trusting that person, that you have to wait until they leave the room and you want to scam through the mind readers. I can't read your mind, he can't read your mind. So sit down and let them know, the relationship is going great, but these are some areas I think we need to work in, and we need to tweak a little bit and do a little better in. That is so important to do. So, it's going well, but there's some improvement. We got to admit that we need some improvement. Sometimes there are some serious problems in some of these relationships. And it could be emotional abuse. It could be physical abuse. Now, that is a whole nother topic to talk about, and I'm going to do a little bit, but I'm not going to dive into it. But if you're in a relationship and there is some emotional and physical abuse going on, you need to get out. You need to seek help. You need to find someone that you can confide in and let them know that there is some physical abuse in this relationship. That is not good. God doesn't want us to be in relationships where we are being physically and emotionally abused with you. And he can really open up to you and share with you some of the most deepest, darkest information to you. He trusts you. And you have to allow that. You can't throw that back to him when you guys get in an argument and something that he does you don't like, and you throw back to him what he just shared with you. That's a no-no. Don't do that, because he loves you enough to trust you enough to open up to tell you some of his good, bads, and ugly. We all have those things in our life. We see the good, but then there's some bad things. So when he is, a healthy relationship is when you guys can talk honest. Be honest with each other. Lay it out on the line. Don't hide anything. Don't sugarcoat anything, because that's when the issues happen, is when we don't want to tell the truth, when we don't want to be honest. And then the truth comes out, and now there's problems. So now, talk honestly to me, telling all your business, especially if this is someone you just met. And, and some of these things are if you've been in a relationship for a while. But if it's someone that you just met, you don't want to bog them down with a whole lot of stuff. Be honest, be straightforward, share, but not a lot. Part of a healthy relationship is, do you feel very comfortable sharing how you feel and your thoughts and experience with that person? That's important. Do you feel comfortable around this person? Now, if you're not feeling comfortable around this person that you can share some of your thoughts and your experiences with them, you may need to check out the relationship. You need to check out why you're in the relationship, because if you can't share some things with that person, That's not good. It's not, a relationship is not one way. It's not 50-50. It's all together. It's 100% from each one of you. So if you can't sit there and share comfortably with them, kind of check out those relationships. So if that's something that has, if someone is between you guys, that is how trust is built. I can't trust you if I tell you some things and now I look up and it's all over Facebook. That is not trust. So a person begins to back off. So don't put your business out there. Whatever goes on between you and your date, your friend, whoever your relationship is with, it stays within that relationship. Okay? If you're a healthy relationship, if you feel okay asking what's up in the other person when they seem upset. If they seem upset and a healthy relationship is when you can go to that person and ask them, is everything all right? A healthy relationship is knowing when they're upset. Kind of knowing that you see them, y'all together, and they're upset, to being able to freely ask them why, what's going on. Being able to open up and they know that they trust you enough to share with you and what's going on and everything like that. So, those are just some tips and tricks or things you may want to take back, because we're talking about healthy relationships and checking out your relationship where he gets upset because you're hanging out and talking to other people, other friends, other guy friends, whatever. You need to be very careful, and vice versa. You could be in a very unhealthy, abusive relationship, because if the anger leads to the abuse, that is something you're going to have to really pray and seek God for and get out, if it's leading to the abuse. If he bosses you around, and it's a difference between giving suggestions and opinions and ideas and stuff like that than bossing you around. That's a sign of something's not right. It could be a very unhealthy relationship. When he loses his temper, and he loses his temper with you very quickly. He's always fighting. If a guy is looking at you, or you guys are walking together, and someone glances at you, and he gets very upset, angry, something against your will, you need to seek help and you need to get out. Okay? If he's cussing at you and calling you out of your name and using derogatory languages and stuff, that's an abusive, unhealthy relationship, because call me by my name. You don't need to call me by something else. So these are some things that, and there's so many more that we can go into, but I don't want to dive so deep into it tonight, because we can take a whole session to talk about unhealthy relationships and the abuse that is by. But I just wanted to share some things with you, those of you, and like I said, this is that time of month of Valentine's, and this is the month of things that go on with love, and we see all these things. And a lot of times we're in relationships where it could be abusive and things could be going on that are not right, but they try to make it up with the flowers and the candy and the balloons. Don't fall for that. If it's unhealthy, want to be alone. We don't want to be by ourselves, so I'll just take all that abuse. And God didn't say that you had to take all the abuse. That's a no. So if you're in those type of relationships, you really need to pray and seek God's guidance of how to get out. Because abuse is not just fighting, it's not just physical abuse, but there's so many other sides of abuse when it comes to relationships. You have physical abuse, you have verbal abuse, you have emotional abuse, you have sexual abuse. All of these are different abuses, but they're all not good. If you're going through any of these things, seek help immediately, because you're in a relationship where that at the end of it, something toxic is going to happen. So I just want to come on this evening to just encourage you and just to share a light on some things. If you're in a relationship, we want you to be in healthy relationships. We want you to be dating someone. Go to your pastor, go to someone, go to the police, go to someone that can help you and guide you and let you know, give you help, because unhealthy relationships are not safe. Abusive relationships, sexual abuse in relationships is not safe. Physical abuse, verbal abuse. You don't have to stand and live for that. That is not safe. And if you see those signs, and if you're scared to get out, there are so many organizations out there that can help you get out of those type of relationships, but you have to seek those relationships. A lot of times we are in these relationships for so long, and we get, so used to the verbal abuse, the cussing and all that stuff. And we don't realize that's verbal abuse. we get so used to the physical. You know, we think, oh, well, that's the way he shows love. This is not the person that God has for you. The one that God has for you is for you. And he would not physically hurt you. He would not verbally hurt you. He would not sexually hurt you. He would not do any of these things for you if that's the one that God has for you. So if you're in those type of relationships, God does not want you to be in those type of relationships. It is, you know, like I said, it's so important, you know. Physical abuse is when a person touches your body in an unwanted or violent way. Physical abuse comes from hitting. He's hitting on you. He's kicking you. He's pulling your hair, pushing you around, biting you, choking you, using income. That's signs of physical abuse. Verbal abuse. If he's cussing at you all the time, calling you everything out the book but your name, that's verbal abuse. And that verbal abuse hurts, like the old say, sticks and stones, where he wants to have you to do things. That's sexual abuse. If he's using it to kind of hang a dangling over your head, well, if you had sex with me, I'll give you this. That's sexual abuse. And a lot of people are in those type of relationships not realizing you're in a sexually abused relationship. So you have to, you know your signs. And I said we could get a little more in depth if you would like. We can really get into depth in talking about some of the different things that are out there, some of the abuse and unhealthy relationships. But I just wanted to come on tonight and just encourage you to, you know, be safe in your dating process. Be safe in your relationships. If you start to see signs of some unhealthy things, ladies, God will show you the red flags and he will show you the signs. You look at the